Hey, what's up guys, TheCampingRusher here. Welcome back everybody to another Fortnite video. Today you learn absolutely everything about Season 2. The new map changes, the unvaults, the vaults, the secrets, the vehicles, how it's going to progress, IO versus the 7. I got tanks going in the background, and then I only will have creative gameplay from last season. Sorry about that, but my big session tonight with the boys is tonight. So I haven't done it yet. So yeah, you're going to learn lots as you watch some creative gameplay. Thoughts on what you've seen so far? How are you liking it so far? It looks awesome. There's a picture there. We went over the battle pass in yesterday's video. I think this is the best battle pass, by the way, ever. Just because I'm a storyline. I love the storyline, and we have so many 7 and IO characters. It's the best battle pass we've had, in my opinion. Thanks to everyone using code TheCampingRusher for it. It helps more than you know. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Chapter 3, Season 2 description. Resistance is the name, of course. Join the Resistance in the final battle to free the 0 point. Try out all new tactics like sprinting, mantling, and more. Board an armored battle bus to be a powerful force, or attach a cow catcher to your truck for extra ramming power. The reason I read this out is join the Resistance in the final battle to free the 0 points. So this should wrap up a lot between IO versus the 7, the final battle. And of course, we're going to learn more. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, noties on how this season's going to play out. We know there's going to be a live event, and I expect it to be the best live event of all time because they always outdo themselves. You've probably already heard building is gone for a week. This dropped after I fell asleep last night, I fell asleep around 4:30, 4:45, so, but I didn't see it till I woke up. So building is out. Now, it's still on in Arena, competitive, Team Rumble, creative, but I believe they're doing this for about a week. Let's talk about some changes, though. There's a ton of them, and we've got it all here in one place. Building's been wiped out, but to help maintain cover, you now have an overshield on top of your shield and health. The overshield is your first line of defense. Before your shield and health take a hit, it's your overshield that will crack. Your overshield will still recover if it goes all the way down to 0. So, yeah, it's I think of it like a Halo shield. That's my version of it. Again, you get cracked or whatever, and it'll automatically regen. I like this because for me, like, I don't want to be, if someone shoots me from behind, I can quickly build. That's what I've been used to. Now I can't do that, so at least I'll have a little bit more buffer, right? A little buffer there. I'll inevitably be spamming my wall button, even though it won't place. That's what's gonna happen. At least I got the overshield to give me some extra time. Movement upgrades. We've got sprinting. Run at the new, faster default movement speed. A faster default speed means a faster sprint too. This sprint is so fast it'll mean pocketing whatever you're holding. Of course, sprinting super fast can't be maintained forever, so a new sprint meter will tell you how much longer you can move at that pace. Huge change. Huge change. I'm sure that makes the game right there feel a lot more fast-paced. Let me know your thoughts on that down below. Mantling. Gaining the higher ground has always been key to winning a battle. Unfortunately, where your feet fail, your hands will now help you out. If a surface is just a little too high for your jump or a platform just a little too far for your landing, your hands can come into play and pull you up. Huge, man. I got video going there too. Speaking of sprinting, sprint at doors to bash them open with your shoulder. It's probably not very polite, but at least you look cool doing it. As the season progresses, you'll have new opportunities to help direct the resistance. Chip in bars towards pro-resistance devices, as well as use bars to vote for which items to unvault. Currently, there is a turret device vote. It's between a light turret or a heavy turret. With the former, get the classic mounted turret experience. With the slower but beefier ladder, do heavy damage to vehicles. The first site that needs help is Sanctuary. So yeah, there is going to be just a strict funding option, and then there's going to be a vote option. They're doing a bit of both. I know the vote will upset some people, but hey, we can't have it all, right? Maybe that's a lesson in life. You can't have it all. Thank you, Epic. Thank you for teaching. Thank you for instilling these things inside of us. Armored Battle Bus is the current fund right now. So you have the turret vote, and then you can go and fund the armored battle bus. I believe it's already at like 6%. This is 7 material, 7 supplies. So for now, right, we've talked about this. I'll take a quick brief over here, just reminding you, this season, there will be territory that is controlled. You can actually see it in game, I believe. The blue is what the resistance, the 7 controls. The red is what the IO currently controls. This will change as the season progresses, and I believe, based on how this is working, as it changes, we will find different vehicles, different spawn points, whether it's IO or 7 controlled, right? So you're going to get battle buses spawning in the blue areas, but as those blue areas expand, there'll be more spawn points. I believe that's how it's going to work, and I love that's how it's going to work, right? It just makes it feel so involved and live and like you're a part of it, right? A part of the battle, part of the story. So I love it. Now, what's going on weapon-wise? Because there is no pump shotgun. I was wrong. There is a new type of pump coming soon, though. We'll talk about that in a second. But for now, new weapons, combat SMG, striker burst rifle. This is a burst with a customized sight. I believe you get a red dot with this thing. 2-shot semi-automatic weapon as you aim with the scope. Unvaulted weapons, thermal scoped AR. It's been adjusted though. Semi-auto fires faster, reduced damage, increased recoil. Drum shotgun adjusted, revolver adjusted, remote explosives adjusted. Remember, they're going to do a ton of damage to vehicles. Vehicles are a huge part of this season, so there's lots of anti-vehicle weaponry because of that. Thermal scoped revolver, storm scout, though not a weapon per se, shockwave grenades are back as well. And some season 1 returners. The striker pump returns, shotgun, auto shotgun, ranger AR, shadow tracker, marksman. You can see all of them there. The dub, boom sniper. So yeah, no pump shotgun as of now. We saw this in the trailer, but for now, to get onto the blimps, you can use vertical zip lines, ground zip lines. So that's a new mechanic as well. Of course, we're not going to be able to build to them. The IO Titan tanks, you can drive it with a buddy. Someone drives, someone controls the machine gun turret. They have a ton of health, but their treads can be destroyed if they take enough damage. If that happens, you can now use the new repair torch to fix yourself back up and get into battle. If you're up against one, here's what you should do. Deal enough damage to the engine, which is located at the rear, to temporarily overheat its systems. This is your opportunity to take on the treads and disable it. So there's some strategy there. There's also siege cannons. You can get yourself inside of it and it'll launch yourself forward. You can launch your teammates first, then yourself, and mid-air you'll have the option to deploy your glider, but you won't take fall damage if you don't deploy it. Some balancing changes, improvement to first shot accuracy mechanics. Weapons with first shot accuracy such as the Ranger AR will now reach that state more smoothly, resulting in more near perfect spread accuracy moments. So let me know how that feels if you've used that so far. And some competitive notes: remote explosives and shockwave grenades are not in competitive yet, that is. Item unvault voting will not take place in competitive. Storm surge damage intervals have been increased from 5 seconds to 10. I kind of like that one. Gives it a little bit more time in that chaotic spot of trying to get storm surge damage. And of course, building is unaffected. We're trying to talk fast because there's so much info, but there is an upcoming new single barrel break action shotgun, the Pump V2. I got gameplay going in the background from the trailer. And yeah, so I assume like way more reload time, but it should do damage like the pump. Apparently it's going to be able to one tap, all right, 200 plus. But yeah, you're not going to get 5 shots per clip type of thing. Of course, Spider-Man's web shooters have been vaulted. And now let's just go through some map changes real quick. There is the new drill, the big drill. This is called the Fortress. Drilling up through the ground, this park drill is now accessible. Very cool looking POI. Synapse Station is a new 7 workshop in the desert being used for research and to build more tech in the war against IO. Love it, man. Covert Cavern becomes Command Cavern, with the IO upscaling their base of operations, complete with a blimp docking station, more outside posts, and tunnel doors inside to drill around the island. Tilted Towers has been taken over by the IO, with tanks and IO overtaking the buildings for operations. Access to the city is barricaded. An IO blimp is also overhead too. Tilted Towers, man, under the bad guys' control. IO blimps now hover over POIs monitored and occupied by the imagined order around the island. You gotta look inside there. There's also the IO Multeam Omega has now become Outpost Omega. Multeam Rider is now Outpost Rider. These were the spots from last season. where they popped up as part of the quests, where we first saw those drills, right? The drill locations. And yeah, I've been scrolling through the 5 of them there. I believe there was 5 or 6. 7 barricades are set up around the island along the borders of territory occupied by the 7 and the Resistance. Of course, the Foundation's mighty monument statue has been destroyed amidst the war and destruction. Come on, you had to do them dirty like that. I threw that in the thumbnail yesterday as I found out about it after I uploaded. So I thought that was a big deal, so I threw it in. IO have occupied the Daily Bugle with barricades and blimp overhead. The Daily Bugle survived. This was a huge shock. But of course, the IO have to take it over. Infiltrator Crater is one of the landmarks as a result of IO bombing the island. Catastrophe Crater is another IO bombing site. We got Crispy Crater, Dispatch Depot, and then IO have also occupied Rocky Reels with another blimp overhead and several tents and barricades around. They've occupied Coney Crossroads. The Yellow House east of Tilted has now been overrun and turned into a setup. IO, once again, they took over Condo Canyon. Multiple Titan tanks spawn at Command Cavern, ready to roll out. So if you're looking for some Titan tanks, you should be able to get them at all IO occupied locations. I'll get all the spawn stuff over the next few days. And then the IO have siege cannons on top of IO blimps around the island and on the ground at bases and outposts. And we talked about those earlier today. Thank you very much, FN Assist, for putting all of that in one spot. That's very helpful. And yes, there are a lot of bombs on the blimps. So that's obviously going to be part of it and possibly part of our live event at the end of the season. That's it. Thanks for watching. Take care. Talk soon. Goodbye.